Okay, the year's half gone. It's July, the start of a new month, and you know what that means. It's time for a new TBR video. Let's get into it. Alright, book fans, welcome back to my channel. I'm Freak Angel and I read a bit. And now that it's July, it's time to pick out a new monthly TBR. Normally we use our spinner wheels to pick, but we're going to do it a little bit differently this month. Mostly because I have a whole bunch of books on a crappy little shelf downstairs that I need to bring upstairs and merge into my shelves, like my actual bookshelves. And since it's a new month and I'm going to be bringing all these books upstairs anyways, I figure I might as well pick like the bulk of my July TBR out of these books so I have less to bring upstairs. You know, makes sense to me anyways. I am on vacation the first week of July for my job, so this is awesome. I'm hoping to get a bunch of reading done. And yeah, it should be a fun, relaxing, book-filled week for me, and I'm super pumped, super looking forward to it. So let's get into the picks for the month. Now, I said that we normally do our spinner wheel picks and that we were going to do it a little differently this month, but we're not getting through the monthly TBR with absolutely no spinner wheel picks. No, 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 no. So I pick 10 books per month for my TBR with the intention to read half. That's 5. And my audiobook listens don't usually come into effect for the monthly like TBR video. They're separate for the most part. But we do always like to put some Kindle Unlimited on the monthly TBR. I like to get at least one, and since we're not doing the spinner wheel to see how many times we land on Kindle Unlimited, we're just going to do two. So out of our 10 books, we're going to spin the Kindle Unlimited wheel twice, and we're going to pick two Kindle Unlimited picks for the month, and then we'll pick 8 physical reads. And that'll be my 10 books for the month. How did my June TBR go, you're asking? Well, I sure am not glad you asked that because it went poorly, real poorly. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. It's just books. It's not that serious. I still read a bunch of books in June. It's fine. They just weren't all from the TBR. I read 2 of our 10 picks instead of 5. One physical one and one on Kindle Unlimited. So, at least my Kindle saw some action in June. I've been lacking on Kindle Unlimited in 2025. So, let's just get into it. Let's pick 2. I'm gonna get my screen recorder up here on my phone because that's where the spinner wheel is. Alright, I'll just move over here a little bit, get our wheel up. Alright, let's go. Spin number 1. I'm not even sure if I picked, I'm not even sure if I took the book off that I read last month. If it comes up, I mean, obviously, we'll pick again. Uh, The Vampire Diaries by L.J. Smith. I mean, there's part of me that wants to say we'll pick again because I tend to read vampire nonsense in spooky season, in the fall leading up to Halloween. But I intend to read Vampire Academy leading into the fall. And, like, Empire of the Vampire series continuation. I've already got the first one, but Empire of the Damned and Empire of Dawn. I don't know if this one's I don't know if this one's gonna happen, but let's spin again. Let's spin again. It's fine. It's fine. We were picking 2 anyways. So maybe I'll read the Vampire Diaries, maybe I won't. Let's see. The Marionettes by Katie Wismer. I don't really remember what this is about. I'm pretty sure it's a dark romance. Pretty sure. But, you know, it's on the list for the month. Okay, so now that we've got our Kindle Unlimited picks out of the way, let's get into the actual monthly TBR picks. Okay. Yeah, so this is the shelf. This is the shelf right here. It looks like absolute chaotic nonsense. I considered doing it as a video, but the corner of the shelf is in is actually really dark, and it's a lot easier to just like brighten up some pictures. You know what I mean? But yeah, this is the shelf. And it's chaotic and crazy and it doesn't look pretty and yeah, these books need to go live upstairs on my actual bookshelves. So, I'm gonna pick out 8 of these for my July TBR. Let's go through what's actually on this shelf because I know, it's crazy. All right. So, first up, The Dagger and the Flame. I read this in June. This is not an option. This book goes back upstairs. Okay, next up, Leviathan Wakes. This is the first in The Expanse. The Expanse is on my 25 and 25 list. However, I already read Leviathan Wakes in, I believe it was May, and I want to continue. So, next we have Caliban's War. This is book 2 in the Expanse series. I have not watched the show, but I have heard good things about it. And yeah, I want to continue on with the series. While this wouldn't add to me like checking more off of my 25 and 25 because like I started the series, I read book 1, we have that already checked off. I want to continue the series, and in my mind continuing a series from my 25 and 25 is still working towards completing the list even if like this series is already checked off because I started it. You know what I'm saying. You get it. You get it. Next up, Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I brought this one down for a TBR sometime in the past couple of months and didn't read it. Didn't read it. This one's also on the 25 and 25 and I'd like to get to it, but I'm not sure July is going to be the month for that because I mean, this book is supposedly like emotionally rough and based on a hockey town. I mean, you can see the hockey town like on the cover, small town hockey vibes. Not sure if it's really the July vibe, but I do really want to read it and, I want to get to it this year. Next up, The Blade Itself by Joe Abercrombie. This is the first in the First Law series. Again, brought it down for a recent TBR and haven't gotten to it yet. So I'd like to read it. We'll see, when that happens. Next up, Darker by Four. Okay, so this was also brought down for a recent TBR, and I did not read it. This is the Fairy Loot edition. It was most likely picked for a like special edition wedge on my wheel. Next up, okay, Problematic Summer Romance by Ali Hazelwood. This was a recent addition to my TBR. I went to the bookstore after The Dentist, and yeah, this book came home with me. Ali Hazelwood's basically an auto-buy author for me at this point, and I couldn't believe that I hadn't pre-ordered it. So yeah, let's be real. This one probably is gonna make it on the TBR. It's July. The book's called Problematic Summer Romance. If I don't read it in the summer, when am I going to read it? You know what I mean? It's basically like coded to be a July book. I'm Canadian. It's summer in July. If I lived in like Australia or something and it was winter, sure, different story, but yeah, this one's a high candidate. Next up, The Thursday Murder Club by Richard Osman. I've been curious about this series for quite a long while and have never started it. So during that same trip to the bookstore after The Dentist, yeah, I just grabbed a copy. I'm curious and I really enjoy Richard Osman for his like comedy work. I enjoy British panel shows. I am guilty of it. It's such a binge-worthy kind of thing for me. Easy pastime, background noise. I've seen him on Would I Lie to You? He was on Taskmaster, 8 out of 10 Cats Does Countdown. I'm a fan of Richard Osman as a comedian, so I'm definitely curious about the Thursday Murder Club. It seems like such an interesting, like, mystery kind of concept where they're like older people in a like kind of retirement home. I don't know. And apparently there's a Netflix film coming soon, so adaptation has potential if I like the book. Who knows? Who knows? Next up, Behooved, also from that same trip to the bookstore. What can I say? My dentist is in the mall. The mall has a bookstore. I'm only human. I'm just a girl, alright? No judgments here. Look at this cover. It's gorgeous. It's stunning. I picked it up. is this video slowly turning into a haul video? Not intentionally, but hey, most of the books that are on this shelf that I need to bring upstairs and get shelved away are either recent book pickups, book mail from like monthly subscription boxes, and yeah, books that I brought down for TBRs that I didn't read yet. That's most of what we got on this list. So, you know. Next up, Metal Slinger. I pre-ordered this because it got, I don't know, traditionally published or the paperback just came out. Whatever. It's basically a new release, but it's not a new book. However, that shook out in the wash, I don't know, but it's been getting rave reviews. People are eating it up, and apparently the twist ending is to die for. And I don't know if they're pirates or not, but I somewhere along the way I heard, or maybe it's on the back of the book, but someone said one boat, one bet. Come on. Come on. I mean, one boat? Hilarious. Hilarious, and I love pirates, seafaring, swashbuckling adventures, so yeah. Metal Slinger, I definitely want to get to this one. Next on the shelf is The Raven Boys. I want to start the Raven cycle. I have not read it yet. This was also brought down for a recent-ish TBR, maybe April or something, and I did not get to it. Alright, also on the shelf, also brought down for a previous TBR that I didn't read, Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This is on the 25 and 25. This is a TBR veteran. I need to read this book this year. Period. Full stop. Needs to happen. I believe they were like former best friends turned academic rivals turned enemies or something. And I think there are like superpowers. So is this like sci-fi leaning? Not sure, but I need to read this book before 2025 is out. This book has been on my shelf for like a couple years. We need to clear that up, you know? Also on the shelf, Jade City by Fonda Lee, first in the Greenbow Saga. This has been on so many TBRs. No, I have not read it yet. And I don't know why. I really want to read it. It's urban fantasy and supposedly has like Godfather vibes. We have like rivaling factions. They trade in jade, which the jade like gives you magic. In my mind, I kind of think of it as like warring, you know, gangs, and they trade in like drugs, but the drugs are jade, and jade gives you magic. I don't know. It sounds really good. People who have read the series tend to love the series. I really don't hear much negative about it. And I enjoy urban fantasies. And I enjoyed The Godfather. There's really no reason that I wouldn't enjoy the series. So this is a potential, but it's also been on so many TBRs and I haven't read it that I'm hesitant to put it on yet again. The Rainbow Saga, I'm also relatively certain is on my 25 and 25. This is not making it seem promising that I'm actually going to get through that list, but you know, whatever. Speaking of the 25 and 25, Howling Dark, second book in the Sun Eater series. Now, I have already checked the Sun Eater series off of my 25 and 25 because I read book one this year. I really want to continue the series. I really want to know more about Hadrian Marlowe's story. I want to know what leads up to the events of him becoming the Sun Eater. If you know, you know. However, I only have the first three books in the series. I recently pre-ordered book 4 and 5. I have these like gorgeous broken binding editions. I want the matching ones. I don't want to be buying multiple copies if I read through books 1 through 3 and I'm itching too hard for the next books. So I'm kind of delaying or stretching out my actual reading experience of the series. I, however, don't want to leave it too long because it's already been like 2 months since I read the first book. So I need to get back to this series soon, but I don't know if I want to do it right away because, like I said, I'd like to have a bit more of the series available to me. You know what I mean? I'm I'm sure I'm making sense. I'm sure there are people out there who understand what I'm saying. All right, next we have The Husky and His White Cat Shizen. This is the first book. you will hear this title again. Okay, this is not the only book from the series on the shelf. I'm just going through them in the order that they're like stacked up. So going through them like top to bottom on the stacks from the shelf. I got this book for Christmas, and I'm really interested in the series. I've never read anything from this kind of like Asian inspired boy love kind of genre. I'm not even sure if these might be light novels. I don't know. But yeah, I want to read the series, but I haven't started it yet. I got this one for Christmas, and then I've picked up a couple more over the past couple months. I'm just kind of like collecting them, and eventually at some point I'll start. Renegades. Okay, okay. This was on my April TBR, and I'm relatively certain I put it on another TBR, either May or June, and I still haven't read it yet. It's the first book in a series. This is a like superhero, super villain kind of situation. This series might be YA, not certain, don't care. I want to get to this. I swear I really want to get to this, but I keep not like picking it up when I put it on a TBR. Not sure if July's the month, but maybe. Like I really want to read it. I really want to read it. So yeah. Pirate's Life for Tea by Rebecca Thorne. This is the second book in the series. I've read the first book in July of last year, so kind of feels like it'd be fitting if I read the second book July of this year. You know what I mean? I've really enjoyed the first book. It's the kind of cozy fantasy that I enjoy where things still actually happen, but it is ultimately a cozy, you know? And this one we get pirates, as is demonstrated by the title, the cover, and the ending of the first book. Like, we knew at the end of the first book we would be getting pirates in the second book. I've been anticipating reading this. I don't know why I haven't picked it up. And then we have The Spell Shop by Sarah Beth Durst. This one I got recently, just, as a random bookstore pickup, because the paperback is out. I almost got this book a whole bunch of times when it was in its hardcover because the cover is stunning, gorgeous, absolutely beautiful. Like, this cover art is absolutely gorgeous. However, I've mentioned several times that I'm very mixed on cozy fantasy, so I didn't want to buy the hardcover if I wasn't sure that it was like really gonna be for me, really my vibe, because we're talking the price of hardcovers versus paperbacks. The difference is not nothing, all right? When the paperback came out and it also had the nice like lilac-y, light purpley kind of edges, I was like, yeah, all right, bet. This is fine. We'll take this one. I grabbed A Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim. Didn't know much about it, but loved the art style on the cover. And then after, when I was telling one of my like bookish friends that I had picked this up, like they wanted to know what I had gotten at the bookstore, they told me they had read this book, possibly as an ARC, not sure because it's a relatively new release, but they had loved it, like absolutely loved it, which I enjoy a rec. You know what I mean? I enjoy getting a rec from a buddy. So that's a positive in my eyes for this book. Next up, Bury Our Bones in the Midnight Soil by B.E. Schwab. Grabbed this one recently at the bookstore. Same kind of situation of I couldn't believe I somehow hadn't pre-ordered it. It's sapphic, it's vampires, we're traveling across various timelines. Yeah, I don't know if these timelines converge, if it's like one soul in various timelines. Is it maybe one vampire? They live a long time. Not sure how these timelines, intersect or interact with each other, or maybe they don't. But, I mean, messy sapphic vampires, say less. Then we have Nevernight by Jay Kristoff. Look, I'm entering my Jay Kristoff era. I'm intrigued. I want to read more of his things because I really enjoyed Empire of the Vampire. Like, I really enjoyed it. It's super dark and grim and gritty and bloody and oh, it's so good. It's so good. So yeah, Nevernight, this is me just wanting to further explore this author. Yeah, I said the Husky is White Cat Shizen. You would see another book. Here's book two. Gorgeous, beautiful cover. I mean, come on. You have to see why I'm curious about it. The art on the cover is just stunning. Next on the shelf, we have The Raven Scholar by Antonio Hodgson. I don't know much about this book, but the early reviews that I'm seeing are largely positive. I wanted to read it. The cover, I don't know. I saw it. It's a little bit shiny. It triggered my crow brain. Maybe it's because of the raven on it. Not sure, but I wanted it. I picked it up. It's chilling on this shelf. Is it gonna stay on this shelf and get read in July? Or is it gonna go upstairs and find its home on my actual bookshelves? We'll see. We'll see. What am I gonna pick here? Next we have Water Moon. This was, I'm pretty sure, an early 2025 release. Maybe it was late 2024. Not sure. But I remember seeing a bunch of special editions and gorgeous editions of it floating around in the past couple of months. And then I saw the regular edition at like a normal bookstore, and it's still gorgeous. It's still beautiful. It has this like cover, but under the dust jacket, like even for a regular edition, stunning. I've heard kind of mixed reviews about it, but I wanna read it myself and make up my own mind, see how I feel about it, because I do think it's really beautiful. And if I remember correctly, it has an interesting concept, but it might be more like magical realism or the kind of like lighter fantasy and a kind of literary read, but don't quote me on that. I could be totally wrong. It could be like nonsense romanticy, bingeable ridiculousness. I don't know. I don't know. I won't know till I read it, and I just honestly don't remember enough about the synopsis offhand to give you a fair judgment or like, a fair assessment of what it could be, I guess, but it's on the shelf, so we're talking about it. Next we have The Stars Too Fondly by Emily Hamilton. This is a sci-fi book. I believe it may be sapphic, could be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure I had intended to read it in May when I was doing a sci-fi reading challenge, or maybe I brought it down as a possibility to read for that sci-fi reading challenge. I didn't get to it, so it's just there. It's just there on that shelf, needing to be brought upstairs or read. Then we have The Inadequate Heir by Daniel Jensen. This is book 3 of the Bridge Kingdom. I haven't read books 1 or 2, so obviously we're not reading book 3 in July. This may be historical fantasy, but it might not be. Then we have Enchanter by Keely Smith. This is the book that comes after Phantasma, which was a like gothic fantasy that came out last year. This one came out in April of this year. I haven't read book 1. Haven't read Phantasma. Don't know about Phantasma's gothic game or trials or whatever it is. So obviously same deal. Haven't read the first one, so we're not going to be reading this one this month. Then we have To You at the Altar. So this comes after A Pirate's Life for Tea. Is this perhaps a wedding with To You at the Altar in the title? Seems that way. Seems that way. But unless we read A Pirate's Life for Tea, we're not going to be reading To You at the Altar. So, moving on. Andre Kills a King by Evan Leakham. This is the Broken Binding edition where the beautiful spine matches the cover. This might be an indie author. I could be wrong, but I get the feeling that it is. I feel like I heard that somewhere along the way, in which case, cool. I'm so happy that you got this awesome, gorgeous edition. Your cover art is amazing. It's such a cute, like, kind of little edition. It's not like tiny, but compared to some other books on the shelf, like, you know what I mean? It's a bit smaller. I am very curious about it, and I do think it's gorgeous, but do I remember what it's about? No. No. I remember reading the synopsis before I ordered it, but at this point in time, nah, no idea. She killed for a cause. Will she die for it too? I mean, that's on the cover. That sounds fun. Good hook. Next, Hyperia by Dan Simmons. This may be one of the most gorgeous books that I own. It's definitely among the most gorgeous books I've gotten this year. It's stunning. The illustrations inside, oh my god. The naked hardback, the end papers, like, you guys, you do not understand the broken binding, killed it with this one. And this dust jacket, you see how you're seeing two dust jackets here on the screen? Yeah, it's not reversible. They sent us two. They You got one dust jacket or the other. You can take your pick. I am obsessed with this edition. I think it's gorgeous and I really want to read it. I have not had it very long. This one only arrived very recently to my home, but she got long chapters. I am not a huge fan of the longer chapters at all. So we're not making this one a priority in July, I don't think. I don't think July is really the month for this one. But it's definitely gonna get some primo bookshelf space when it gets moved upstairs. Then we have Broken Souls and Bonds by L.J. Andrews. This was the May? I'm pretty sure it was the May Romantasy pick from Fairy Loot. I do not know anything about this book, but look at that heckin' floofer. Look at a wolfy boy on the edge. The wolf's on the cover. We got these raven, crow, burbs up top, skulls. I know nothing about this book. The Fairy Loot subscription books are usually the ones that I know the least about because they don't announce them. Now I frequently have them spoiled for me. I do poke around enough on Bookstagram and stuff that I usually know what the books are, which is good because you have so many skips a year. If you're not interested in the book, use a skip. Use skip. Do not be buying books that you're not interested in just because it's in a subscription box. So I do remember having this one spoiled for me, and I probably looked up the synopsis to see if I wanted to skip it, and I didn't. So I must have been interested. But at this point, do I know what this book's about? No, no, no. But with the wolf on the edge and the cover and stuff, I'm thinking shifters probably some kind of shifter romance. All right, then we have The God and the Griswold. This is by Sophie Kim, second in the Fate's Thread series. First was The God and the Gumio. I have the first book, I have not read it yet, and it also got really good reviews from friends of mine. Like, I had so many people last year telling me how amazing it was, and I didn't get to it, so, you know, unless I read the first book, we're not reading the second one this month. Then we have Atmosphere by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This is about an astronaut. It's a Taylor Jenkins Reid book, so I'm expecting that kind of literary fiction kind of vibe, but it's like you're probably going to have that kind of like a celebrity vibe. I feel like this is about the first female astronaut. Could be wrong on that, but it's definitely about a female astronaut, and it's called Atmosphere, a Love Story. Don't know if that means it's going to read like a romance or if we just have a romantic subplot. I don't know. I don't know, but I want to read this book. I want to read more Taylor Jenkins Reid. I've read The Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo, and that's it. And I've been strongly considering picking up Carrie Soto's back, but I'm not into tennis. You know what I am into? Space stuff. So if it's about an astronaut, yeah, yeah, sign me up for that. I'm very intrigued to read this one. Then we have The Will of the Many by James Islington. This is the first book in the Hierarchy series. This book came out last year, and this was on so many people's best books of 2024. So many people, like so many booktubers, bookstagrammers, book talk, whatever. This book absolutely blew up in 2024. And the second book is coming out later this year. So I want to get into this series. I want to know about the caste system that's in it. I mean, look at the people blurbed on the cover. You got Daniel Green and Patrick Leah. Clearly, this is a booktube darling, and yeah, I love fantasy. I am very intrigued by the series, especially with how much hype it got. Yeah, call it FOMO, call it whatever you want. I want to read the series. I want to see if it makes my top books of this year, considering I didn't read it last year when it came out. You know? Then we have Releasing 10 by Chloe Walsh. This is book, I don't know, 5, 6, 7, 6. It says it right here on the cover. Book 6 of the Boys of Tommen series. I have not read the first 5 books. I own them all. I've got those ombre spine looking paperbacks, so I'm gonna continue to get them as they come out, just so they all match. I'm going to read this series. I'm pretty sure I put it on my 25 and 25. It's just this is the newest one that came out and I pre-ordered it, so it's down here in the stack of books because it recently arrived. Recently in the realm of this shelf is the past few months, past couple months. I'm pretty sure I brought a handful of books up last month when I went to collect books for my TBR, but mostly just like some stuff I read. I don't think it was mostly anything that came new, or if it wasn't a lot. Anyways, yeah, this one's not gonna get picked. I'm telling you right now. Until I read the rest of the series, I'm not reading book 6. And I don't feel that Binding 13 is gonna be happening in July. I don't know if I want the emotional trauma right now. We have A Treachery of Swans by A.B. Pornick. This is the copy on my shelf is an art copy, and now the book is out. And I'm seeing largely positive reviews, though I haven't seen a lot yet. But I'm seeing largely positive reviews, and I have this early copy, and now the book's out. So I probably should read it soon, right? Like, come on. It's a gothic Swan Lake retelling. That's really all I know. Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. I picked this up on a fairly recent bookstore trip. Maybe it was a month ago. I don't know. But I want to read more T. Kingfisher. I've only read a couple of their things, A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking, and oh man, what was the other one called? Oh, that's gonna drive me nuts. You know, I'm drawing a blank, but I've read another one of her things, and yeah, I want to read more. And I've heard largely positive things about Nettle and Bone, so it seemed like an obvious, easy next choice for me to make. And a lot of T. Kingfisher stuff is pretty short, so it's honestly a good option as a little palate cleanse if I have a lot of chunky reads in a month. And then, yeah, here we go again. I told you you would see this title more than once. The Husky and His White Cat Shizen 3. Again, look at the gorgeous cover art. Some kind of Asian inspired boy love. There's a time travel or reincarnation type element to this story as well. Again, I don't know much because I haven't started it, and this is the third one. You've seen one and two, like all three of them are over here on the shelf. So unless I pick up the first one and the second one, we ain't getting to the third one in July. Then we had The Devils by Joe Abercrombie. This is Joe Abercrombie's new release from this year. This is the Broken Binding edition. It's absolutely gorgeous. Look how badass that edge is. Like, come on. It's a stunning edition. But I don't know if I want to read The Devils before reading some other Joe Abercrombie. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like I should read First Law, so The Blade itself and, that series, before branching out. However, The Devils is in no way related. I'm pretty sure it's just a standalone. So it's not like I couldn't read it without having read First Law. But I'm not sure if I want to. I feel like I want First Law to be my entry to Joe Abercrombie's grimdark world. Then we have Doomsday Book by Connie Willis. This is the Broken Binding edition. This was their, I believe it was March sci-fi subscription book. Their sci-fi subscription is every 2 months, and I know this one was late coming, but they were very transparent about it. They were very open about the delays, so like I'm in no way mad about it. Look, I don't get mad about stuff being late when I'm informed that it's gonna be late. Sometimes delays happen. It's fine. It's all good. Okay. Then we have Rainy Feist Magician. This is the first in the Riftboar saga. This is the current Broken Binding fantasy subscription series. So this is the book one. So I could read this because it's the first in the series. Next on the shelf, we have Labyrinth's Hearth by M.A. Carrick. This is the third and final book in the Rooked Rose trilogy, which was the previous Broken Binding monthly sci-fi sub book. And yeah, this is the third one, so unless I go and read books 1 and 2, we're not reading the third one this month. Books 1 and 2 are upstairs. This one needs to go live with its friends. It's fine. Then we have Kiki's Delivery Service. This is the Fairy Loot edition. Look, I love Studio Ghibli. I'm human. Yes, I fall prey to beautiful animation. I don't believe it's a crime to love beautiful animation. I've watched the movie, I've enjoyed it, I wanted to read the book. Yes, I have the Fairy Loot edition of Howl's Moving Castle, and yes, I ordered the next two to go with it. What is it? Castle in the Sky? Castle in the Air? House of Many Ways? Whatever it is. I've ordered those as well. I have read Howl's Moving Castle. I have not continued the series, but I have the audiobooks and I've pre ordered the books. So, that series can happen easily. This is a cute little short book. The movie is adorable. I imagine the book is as well. Okay, next on the shelf we have The Floating World by Axio. This one I believe came out at the end of April, early May. I'm pretty sure it was late April. I did not get a fancy like special edition, although there are some floating around out there. Some special edition boxes did this one. I don't have one of those. I just got the regular normal hardback. The hardback was very reasonably priced, and very similarly priced to a lot of paperbacks, so I didn't feel like waiting for the paperback. The cover is gorgeous, and I do not, for the life of me, remember what it's about. Not a clue. Could not tell you. I think it might be YA though. Then we have The Wind Weaver by Julie Johnson. This was a fairly romantic pick. I'm pretty sure it was maybe April's book. I know I don't have June's yet. Maybe it's May's. No, I think May was the one with the wolves that we saw earlier. So this one's April's. I don't know, whatever. It's fairly romantic pick, and I could not tell you what it's about, but it's absolutely gorgeous. Look at this naked hardcover. It's stunning. It's got like the foiling going through it. You can't see the edges in this image, but the edges very much match the dust jacket, like the light creamy colors with feathers. And then we have A Curse Carved in Bone by Daniel Jensen. This is the second book in the saga of the Unfated. I don't think I knew that's what this series was called, but it says it right here on the cover, so we're gonna go with it. This is the book that comes after A Fate Inked in Blood. I have not read the first book. I have it, and I've heard very positive things about it. It's like Norse Viking inspired fantasy romance. And the final thing on the shelf. This may be like a small pride and joy of mine. It's the only thing I have from Owl Crate. It's the Owl Crate editions of Emily Wilde's. Yeah, yeah. Encyclopedia of Fairies, Map of the Otherlands, and Compendium of Lost Tales. I read Emily Wilde's Encyclopedia of Fairies in January. I loved it. I absolutely love Wendell. I was obsessed. It was so cute and it was so sweet, and I really enjoyed it. And I am very hit or miss on cozy fantasy, so I was skeptical as to if I was going to enjoy it. But I did. It turned out I really, really did enjoy it. I liked it a lot more than I expected to, and I had a really good time with it. However, I'm not going to read the second book in July. Look at the cover of book two, The Map of the Otherlands. Look at the colors. Look at those autumn leaves. Look at the fall vibes. Yeah, there's no way. There's no way we are reading this in July. I am saving this for the fall, potentially late fall, like right after spooky season, after I've read a whole bunch of like vampire, bloody, gory nonsense. I might want some cute sweetness. Yeah. So we're saving this one until the leaves start to fall. Okay, so that's the shelf. That's everything we have to pick from. Okay? Everything we just listed is everything on this shelf. Unless somehow I missed something. If I did, I'm sorry, but we're not going back and checking again. I don't think I've missed anything. Anyway, what do I want to read in July? Okay, going into this, we already know our Kindle Unlimited picks. We have The Vampire Diaries, which I know the books are quite different from the show. I'm very familiar with the show. I've definitely watched it several times. Let's be real, I am a Damon Salvatore girly through and through. Stefan who? Damon all day, every day. Definitely a Damon girly. Like, come on. However, I have not heard that the books are great. I've heard that they get progressively more and more unhinged. And sometimes, you know what, I'm here for that. Sometimes that's a good time. And our other Kindle Unlimited pick, The Marionettes. And yes, I did remember what this cover was, but I could not remember what it was about. Let's look at the description real quick before I pick out my books so that we've got an idea of the vibe from our ebooks. The Marionettes, a betrayal, a deadly secret, an unlikely ally. Valerie Darkmoor's entire life has been building up to this moment, her initiation into the Marionettes, a prestigious league of witches. Ooh, witches? Yes. Sworn to serve the vampires. Vampire vibes. Look, both of our KU picks have vampires. Yes, we're not escaping it in July. Yes, we're not saving all the vampires for the fall. And you know what? Vampires are always welcome here. So, yeah. Anyways, as one of the last remaining Blood Witches, her spot is almost guaranteed. At least, so she thought. So she's not just a witch, she a Blood Witch dealing with vampires? Come on, we know vampires like blood. The Academy is full of sabotage and secrets as the tasks begin. Wait, there's an academy as well? So we have a school setting? Yes. And Valerie quickly realizes she has more than her spot on the line. Her survival seems just as uncertain. The closer she gets to the final trial, the more she learns everything and everyone around her isn't quite what it seems. 294 pages? That's pretty short. Yeah, this one seems likely. Not gonna lie, not gonna lie. Look, we picked 10 books with the intention to read 5. I picked 2 Kindle Unlimited picks. I'm just saying this one, The Marionettes, seems more likely than The Vampire Diaries getting started. Just a thought, just thinking out loud. Okay, 8 books from this shelf. Alright, so my first pick, I'm just gonna pick one that was the obvious, easy choice. Problematic Summer Romance. I already told you when we went through what was on the shelf that I was probably gonna read this month. Let's be real, I'm on vacation this week. I'm probably gonna read it this week. I'm literally, by the time you're seeing this video, I'm probably already reading it. So, why even, like, him and haw? It's on the list. Metal Slinger. Yeah, I want to ride the hype while it's still hot. Sue me. I don't care. I don't care. You know what? I like swashbuckling seafaring adventures. And I'm told that the ending is nuts, that there's a twist at the ending that you will not see coming. And honestly, that's good enough. Do I really need more than that? Probably not. I probably don't need more than that, you know? There's nothing wrong with wanting to enjoy something while other people are enjoying it. So, yeah, we're putting Metal Slinger on the list. I don't care. Rachel Schneider, yeah, we're doing it. We're doing it. Fire Metal Book 1. Now that I've picked a couple that were just like basically free picked, I want to read them this month. What do I normally focus on when I'm doing my spinner wheels? I always make sure that we hit Kindle Unlimited. Hey, we picked 2 already. That's done. Check. I also want to make sure I'm reading some of my special editions because they cost more and I bought them, so I should probably read them. And I want to make sure I'm reading some from my 25 and 25 list so that we don't get, close to the end of the year and have a panic attack because we haven't read any of these books. So our next pick, with that in mind, Darker by 4 by June Sealtan. This one was on a previous TBR, as I mentioned, but this was a Fairy Loot YA pick, and I got rid of the YA subscription in the fall of last year. I switched and got the Romantasy instead. And I wanted to catch up on a bunch of the YA books that I hadn't read from that subscription. So that's what we're gonna do. We're just gonna roll this one onto the July TBR. And while we're still thinking special editions, A Pirate's Life for Tea. Like I said, I read the first book in July of last year. It's been a whole year. It's time for me to continue forward in this series. And like I said, I love pirates. Swashbuckling seafaring adventure in a cozy fantasy kind of vibe with our little sapphic romance. Yeah, I'm here for it. All right, so that's a couple special editions. Now let's get something checked off from the 25 and 25. Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Yeah, I've got to read this book. Listen, I've got to read this book. There is no reason for me to have not read it. It's been on my shelf for a couple of years. I fully anticipate that I'm going to really enjoy it. It's on my 25 and 25. Let's just get this done. All right, we're soon, before we know it, the summer is going to be gone and we're going to be entering spooky season. And I'm going to be wanting to read all the vampire books. So I need to get some of these other books kind of tidied away. 'Cause same thing like I said, we don't want to be panicking near the end of the year because we haven't done enough from our 25 and 25 list. And you know what? I gotta stop saving books as rainy day books, like waiting for the perfect moment because I think I'm gonna love it. I need to read these books that I think I'm gonna love and just enjoy them. So, still thinking of the 25 and 25, but less significantly, Caliban's War by James S. A. Corey. Yeah, I'm gonna continue in the Expanse. So, like I said, I've already like checked this off the list for 25 and 25 because I read Leviathan Wakes, but I want to continue the series, so we're putting this one on the list. It's kind of like an easy add. Atmosphere. You want to talk easy ad? Yeah. How long did I ramble about how much I want to read this? Let's get a little bit of a literary kind of feeling book. Not fantasy, not sci-fi, but we got astronauts. We can lean into our sci-fi love even if it's not so technically sci-fi and it's more just a story. Plus, it says atmosphere a love story. It could have romance. We could be getting summer romance vibes in the setting. I don't know, but I want to know. And I believe one more? Is it one more? The Raven Scholar. If I've only got one more to pick, let's just read this one. In the same way that I was saying that like, sometimes you want to be riding the hype train while it's popular, I think it's totally okay. This book has not been out that long, and I've been hearing generally good reviews. And when I was like trying to pick, like, honestly, I was really torn between the Raven Scholar and Renegades, but Renegades been on a few TBRs and I haven't picked it up. So let's move that one back upstairs and we'll keep the Raven Scholar down here near me, like more nearby. Because honestly, I do not have to read from this list. If I want to read Renegades, I can go upstairs and get it. It's just I'm gonna go shelf a bunch of books upstairs, but I do a lot of reading on the couch downstairs. So I like to have my TBR closer at hand. In case it's like 5 a.m. and I just want to read a book that's close by, you know? It's not a big deal. It's not that serious. But yeah, this is the stack. This plus our two Kindle Unlimited picks. This is the July TBR. Honestly, I think it looks good. Yeah, I think this is a pretty good looking stack to me. Oh, I'm so excited for July. You guys, having a week off, I feel so good about this reading month. June was not a super successful reading month. It was fine. I still read a handful of books. It wasn't a crazy successful reading month. I had a lot of stuff going on, plus I got sick for a while. And sometimes when you're sick, you're like, yeah, I don't want to move. I'm just going to lay here and read my book. No, this was the kind of sick that included a multi-day headache that made reading basically impossible, It's fine. It is what it is. We've moved past it. It's a new month. It's a new stack of books, and I'm so pumped to dig into them. So, if you've read any of these books, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you thought. Did you like them? Did you hate them? If you haven't read them, are they on your TBR or on your radar to read? I don't know if you have any thoughts about any of the books mentioned, the ones I picked, the ones I didn't pick. Drop a comment down below. I'd love to hear from you. I'd love to hear your thoughts about these books. And if not these books, let me know what you're planning to read in July or in the summer. What's on your summer TBR? Let me know in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you. And of course, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. It really helps the channel out. And subscribe for more bookish content to come in the future. I'd love to have you here. Bye-bye!